Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is a place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Tech Diva Weekly, talking tech in English. I'm here with my co-host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva, and I'm with Dr. Tachi all the way from Florida. How you doing, Doc?
Good, good.
Good. And I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. So sit back and relax. Let's hydrate and get ready to talk tech in English. It's Friday. Hey, guys.
Ooh, okay. We hope everyone had a very, very happy Thanksgiving, and we extend that to you. Dr. Tachi will be back in here in just a moment. Mm-hmm. Hey, Jerry Scott, happy Thanksgiving day after. And so this day, and I'm going to do this week in tech history, a couple of things have happened, so I'm just going to go for it. It's the holidays. I can do what I want to. Okay. The Polaroid instant camera goes on sale November 28th, 1948.
Wow.
Just in time for Christmas shopping season, 57 units of the first commercial instant camera, the Polaroid Land Camera Model 95, go on sale at the Jordan Marsh department store in Boston. Producing a sepia-toned photograph in about 1 minute, the Model 95 became a hit almost as quickly. The Polaroid believed that 57 units would be enough to last through Christmas. All 57 units and all the film available were sold the first day. It was simple to use, portable, and the instant gratification that came from the self-developing film made the camera very popular. The name Land came from the camera's inventor, Edwin H. Land, who was also the company's founder. Nearly 1 million Model 95s were produced, setting the stage for Polaroid's flagship product line, making the company's name synonymous with instant film and the cameras that use them. True black and white instant film was released in 1950, but Polaroid didn't create color film until 1963. Polaroid produced their instant film cameras until 2008. I wonder what happened then. And this is what that camera looks like.
So what did you say about 2008?
They kept producing until 2008. They stopped producing the Polaroid camera.
Because digital came in. And people were like, and the toss cameras, remember you could do your own thing and just have it developed?
But I don't think that one did not supersede the click.
It didn't. No, it didn't, but it made it easier and more affordable for people. Our Polaroids, the film was pretty expensive. We had a couple of Polaroid cameras because we could not postpone personal gratification in our teens.
Well, what they said here too was that it was really easier, and having it right then.
Yes, and then you had to fan it and so it could dry. Yeah, I've got quite a few. They don't last, but at the time they're effective.
Right, and then it's a Polaroid 1948, but they built something that the public wanted.
That was major. 1948.
I think also that when did it start to become what was the year that the film sold out, you said, and they
1948. They only made 57 units, 57
in 1948. Okay.
And then they only had enough film for that amount of cameras.
Yeah.
So they decided.
And so that's an interesting thing because it also coincides historically with the end of World War II. And at the end of World War II is when you started to see a lot of people there's no more rationing, none of this. So they're starting to buy consumer goods. So that's why, like in 1950, televisions exploded and all these types, not literally, but the sales of televisions exploded. And then you have things like this Polaroid camera. So it makes perfect sense because now that we're not in a wartime economy, we don't have to ration anymore. There's this huge thing about this move to the suburbs, and this move to the suburbs also means all these consumer goods, the kitchen of the future, televisions, movies, all of that type of thing. And this is also included in that. So it makes perfect sense. Another thing I wanted to say is that there's also been a resurgence in this whole kind of Polaroid culture. So there are new cameras that are coming out with instant developing film, smaller, cute cameras. So there's been a resurgence in the interest in this type of instant gratification filmmaking or picture taking.
And that's why Natalie says a lot of people are buying the newer ones back in the trendy-ish. Now they are trendy.
Yes,
exactly.
I still don't want one. I'll snap a picture.
Well, my daughter is looking for one for my 5-year-old granddaughter. She's online. They have some for kids.
But Target, Walmart, they have them, and they're cute. And I'm like, okay, so the big oven of photos. I'm like, I'm not doing it. But
well, my thing is, I don't want to go backwards. I'm good.
yeah, I'm really done. What else is happening? Microsoft was trademarked November 26, 1976. Bill Gates and Paul Allen registered the trade name Microsoft when the Office of the Secretary of State of New Mexico. Previously, Gates and Allen had been working under an informal partnership known as Micro-Soft, a combination of microcomputer and software. The partnership continued for several more years until Microsoft incorporated in July of 1981, just prior to the introduction of the IBM PC.
Wow.
Yeah, what we know. MP3 was patented in the US November 26, 1996. The United States patent number 5579430. That's a lot of patents. It's granted to the Fraunhofer Institute in Germany. Excuse me. For a digital encoding process. The technology used in MEPG audio layer 3, more commonly known as MP3. This was only in 96. Wow. MP3 technology paved the way for the digital music industry by creating a high quality format that was compressible so that many songs could fit on the relatively small data storage device of the time. Fraunhofer had started work on compressing music as far back as 1977, began work on what would become MP3 in 1987, and was awarded a patent in Germany in 1989.
Wow, it seems like it was longer than that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but what I noticed is here, he didn't give up on his idea.
20 years.
96, well, actually in 1977. And it didn't come to whatever. He didn't get the patent in 1996. That's a long time to be patient, to keep digging and keep going and keep doing it. That's when you know you have a passion for that work. And now his work has led us to having however many videos and stuff on a small device.
Yeah.
Because he pushed through.
Wow.
That's perseverance.
That is very much because in our day and age now, people like to give up real quick. Oh, it didn't work. Nobody bought my course. Nobody bought my stuff.
Yeah,
quit.
Yeah, there's something to be said about learning from the old ways. Old ways in quotes.
Wisdom is the principal thing.
Yeah.
Microsoft ships Internet Explorer 2.0 November 27th, 1995, nearly 6 months to the day after Bill Gates sent his Internet tidal wave memo recognizing the importance of the Internet, and only 3 months after releasing version 1.0, Microsoft releases Internet Explorer 2.0 for Windows 95 and for Windows NT 3.5. Internet Explorer 2.0 was still based on the licensed code from Spyglass Mosaic, what was the first IE version to support now common features such as SSL, which is the secure socket layers, which means that you get the little lock on your stuff so people know that their stuff can be trusted. JavaScript and cookies. It was also the first version to allow the importing of bookmarks from Netscape Navigator, which at the time had a virtual monopoly on the web browser market. This was the first inkling of the browser war that was soon to erupt over the next few years. And then came
Google. No.
Google stepped in and said, "We're gonna shut it all down."
Oh my
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Take it over.
Story. November 29th, 1972, Atari introduces their first product, Pong, which would become the world's first commercially successful video game. The popularity of Pong sparked the beginning of the video game industry, with Atari being the leader in both arcade and home video gaming industries through the early 1980s.
I had a Pong. Y'all probably weren't even born. Let's see.
Oh, I had the TV. I had the one that you plugged up to the TV.
Yeah.
Well, ColecoVision, or you had the Atari?
The Atari.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And that was pretty nice, though, you know. And that is your week in tech history. And interesting, I ended on Pong because
what's the truth? Okay, Natalie.
Natalie said Pong was the truth.
It was with a truth with an F.
It was literally hitting something back. It was like playing.
It was a ping pong ball.
Yeah, it was. You just hit the thing back and forth across the screen. That was like wow, and you had to get good. And
all you had was a cursor. It was like
but somebody put it together and made it to where you could do this. Now, video games, kids are being paid to play video games.
Exactly. Nobody was being paid to play Pong.
No, for real. My son says there was a video game and 3 kids were paid like $2 million or whatever to play these games, and then there are people in the stands watching them play these games virtually. This is a thing.
Oh yeah,
5 video game teams.
Whoa!
I was like, shut up! What?
Well, these competitions are huge. The video game competition, there's a lot of money at stake, a lot of sponsorships, etc. Right. So there are people that, they literally for days will just sit in the same spot at home and practice for all of this. So this is huge business. And that's why gaming apps like Twitch and then, what's the new one from Microsoft that's a competition, can't remember the name of it now, have become so big because now gaming is this domain of being connected with people anywhere.
Right. Well, and the kids are getting money paid. And Natalie said some of these kids are paid millions to game, and they are.
Well, when they used to say, get your kid out of the basement, he's watching too much on the internet and playing too many video games. I say lock them down there until they get till they get some money. You can't come up till you make money.
It's like if you're going to do it, you damn well better make some money at it because you can't be an antisocial piece of nothing and not be making money. So if you're going to do this, you better at least make some money from it.
Exactly. I will bring the pizza down and don't get out the chair. Don't get out.
Donald said, "Hey, all esports are bigger than NFL."
Oh yeah.
Yes, they are.
Wow.
Yeah, they are, and they are literally having um, the gamers are taking. I'm not going to say they're taking over, but these people
Tournament.
get paid.
Yeah, they're serious tournaments. Isn't that interesting?
Right.
It's serious.
I wonder if you have to buy a ticket now. If you'll eventually have to buy a ticket to watch, or is it just that the advertisers say we're good?
Well, the ads come up. The ads are coming up as people are watching because you can sit back while the game is streaming, and so they got advertisers coming up, and then the person who you are watching, they're telling you, "Hey, I got this new controller, which has been sponsored by whoever game controller is, or we have this new whatever the new game is."
And the live events are not free. There are still people, these are events that are held in auditoriums. And so people are paying admission to get in. So they're making money hand over hand everywhere, from the advertisers, from the actual live event and charging people, from the swag, the swag that they're selling to go along with it. It's like the movie industry, okay, where the movies don't make money for the theaters. It's the concessions that really make the money for all of this. And then the associated swag for the actual feature themselves. So they're making money hand over. There is a lot of money to be made in this.
Okay, so, Donald says you can buy tickets.
Yeah, Natalie says Ninja has made $500,000 from streaming. Dan TM is worth $18.5 million for streaming gaming on YouTube. Then she says most of the money is from sponsorships. And Donald says you can buy tickets to the events. And also the money is coming in from prizes. And she says the merch is crazy.
Yeah. Merch that's a big thing. Even if you did nothing else, if you did not sell tickets, if you did not sell ads, the merch itself, I believe, would support the whole industry because people like gunk, people like stuff. So, and especially this kind of stuff.
And the NBA has gaming teams.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You would think gaming is just like lava. No, this has evolved into a very lucrative business.
Oh, okay. Well, I know my grandkids play that basketball app all the time, and then they were into Fortnite. They was up all night. I mean, like, wait a minute. Wake up in the morning, and then my grandson was playing something, and he got a penalty. He couldn't play for 750 minutes or something. I'm like, okay, look, Granny needs to know more. Okay. I don't know how this stuff works.
Gaming is serious now. And it all started with Pong or some of the other games that came out. And to the tune that Apple Arcade is on the Apple TV, that you have Apple Arcade. For $5 a month, you can play every game that is in there. Some of them are good. Some of them are just okay. And some of them are like, why did you even bother with this?
Because they can.
There. And it's $5 a month.
What? Look at this. Natalie saying they live in gaming houses. Put that there. Thank you.
All of these games have leagues.
All those games.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Where they stream
a living simulation.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Like a training camp.
Right.
It's serious business. I mean, because if you think about it, it is a sport. Like Donald said, it's esports. So they're training. They are making money off of this. But I think we have to look at this in the same light as you would any professional athlete. I'm not calling them professional athletes, but it is sports.
$1 million, you can call yourself a professional.
I guess so, but I mean, in terms of actual, so this takes mental skill as opposed to mental and physical skill. Except for please don't get a cramp as you're trying to control things. But we have to think about the fact that for every person that says, "Oh, I could be a professional gamer," Yeah, probably not. So we have to look at it in the same where people are like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna, I got into such and such college and I'm gonna play sports, so I'll probably get into the major leagues. Probably not. So you have to think about it in that same light. Use some sort of sense in terms of that. Please have a backup plan because esports may not be your ticket.
Right.
So,
and Donald says the games also sponsor the events that translates to more game sales and subscriptions.
Okay.
So
Makes
the games,
sense.
we can't be getting
No
mad
hate
at
the player.
no, I'm not mad. I am not mad. It's I just want for people to have some sort of other plan besides
Right.
it. Just like with any other sport, if you think you're going to, get into the professional sports leagues, probably not. And that's not you trying to squash your dreams. You just have to be realistic. There are a lot of people that are good. There are a lot of people that it's for everybody, and this is why I don't mind it. But on the younger end, when people are like, okay, they put their kids in sports, and I think sports are great because it's great for physically and mentally and builds camaraderie and teamship. But a lot of people will put their children in sports with the intention of this is the path to the major league. For them, sorry to say, little boo boo, it probably is not. So I need you to have another plan for boo boo besides football or basketball or field hockey or whatever the case may be.
And the kid may not want to play it.
Okay. They may be done with it past this year. Kids are fickle, and often it's the parents that want it more than the kids, and the kids don't want to disappoint. So in some cases it works, and some it doesn't. So have a plan besides esports. That's all. That's one to grow on.
Right. So on my last little comment about arcades and whatever, there is Pac-Man Royale on the Apple arcade, and then there's Frogger. I'm telling you, if you're going to play all of that, you cannot use the controller that comes with Apple TV. It does not. Where is this thing? This is a controller for Apple TV.
Okay.
And that's what they're expecting you to play games with.
You can buy another controller.
Okay.
I will have to because I'm trying to get so I don't get caught by the little ghost. This ain't
and it doesn't work. Wow.
It does not help. And Donald says, I'm mad because I can't keep up with these young.
Well, Natalie's got information here about foreign teams.
Yeah, especially they have coaches and support staff. Edward Gaming House has a cafeteria. Yep, this is like full-fledged business, full-fledged.
And
Natalie, I'm with you. Frogger, I was like, okay, I'm trying to help you get out of, you're trying to get them out, and it looks innocent enough. And I'm like, what the heck? And you're trying to move, and I'm like, okay, I got to go buy another controller.
Wow.
Well, you know what? There might be a controller for your phone because I know that my Roku has a remote, and it allows me to. And it's bigger than what you're holding. I mean, your phone's
exactly,
bigger.
But there's like this one about jumping across lava, and I'm like, I'm not going to even try and play that game until I get
until you get a right controller. Yeah, you do need the right controller. Can I acknowledge somebody that's in the chat? Acknowledging everybody that's in the chat, but Keith C. Wade, who is a fantastic actor and writer, playwright, director, all of that. And also the doctor on his podcast, his video podcast called Sci-Fi Saturday. So he has joined in. So what's up, Keith C. Wade?
Hey, Keith. Welcome to the Biz Chicks Tech Life Weekly. Welcome.
Yes.
Yes, and please, I would like to check out the podcast. So if you want to put your link over there in the chat so we can check you out.
We would really
welcome. Yeah, so I have to get a new gaming controller. Sorry. I'm not going to do that to myself. I try to play some of the other games. I know I'm better than this.
Honestly.
Well, we'll see when you get the game controller how good you
Okay.
actually are, right?
Yeah, we will really see how, and it's a stress reliever, like when you work all day, it's like, okay, I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna play the game.
Right, right. It is a stress reliever. It
It really
is.
is. And I know I'm not gonna get caught up in it long enough to where Terry will be like, Fran, are you okay? Where are you?
Well, and that's important. That is an important point because there are some personality types that will go underground with this stuff, and you will not see them submerge except to get a piece of toast, or emerge except to get a piece of toast. So I think that's another important thing to think
Right.
about as well. The social, I love the social aspect of all this stuff. So
Right.
My
So
goodness.
the news today for tech news, Terry, do you have some? Are you gonna be stirring up some stuff?
No, I just got two things I want to say that Facebook and what's her face, Instagram had a little delay yesterday.
yeah.
So some people, had trouble getting their Thanksgiving messages out because they were down for a couple of hours. And the thing I think is so funny is that they had to go over on Twitter and tell everybody what was going on.
Oh, so Twitter is still a viable form of communication.
Yes.
Yeah, for today until Instagram came back up and Twitter, Facebook came back up. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, that it was down. I noticed because I had some Thanksgiving messages that I was posting for clients, and I was like, "What? Damn it!" So, but I'm like, you know what? The other platforms will just have to suffice for now. Now, I didn't really notice a problem with Instagram. I didn't really have a big problem with Instagram. It was Facebook where I couldn't. But that again, technology can and will fail you, and you just have to be prepared in the event of. In fact, truth be told, I'm actually kind of happy when stuff goes down because it gives you a break. It's like, oh, sure, thank God I don't have to post anything right now.
Right. And you're absolutely, I was like, I put together a little meme or something to say that we weren't going to be doing something on Thursday. And it says, sorry, didn't post or something. I was like, you know what? Deuces, I'm out of here. I'm not going to sit up here and keep trying to make this thing post and go around the world and try and post it over there. I was like, okay, I put it up where it went up and that was it. And I didn't even think about it. It was Facebook wide. I just figured, okay, something's not going because I'm running the beta version of the layout.
Okay.
And the beta version of the layout, you can't do stories from the beta version of the layout. I was like, I can watch everybody's story, but I couldn't create a story. I was like, okay, well, what good does this do? They said you can always go back to the other layout. I like the new layout better. It's a lot cleaner, and I think we showed it last time.
Yeah.
I can show it again if you guys want it, but it's a lot cleaner, and I'm like, oh, there's no clutter. It's not like
uncluttered.
You're trying to dodge stuff and
trying to figure out what stuff is. It's so much in the attic. You just don't know
it
the last thing. Yeah.
Facebook, the new layout looks a lot better as they clutter up Instagram.
Okay.
Because Instagram started out being a place to post beautiful pictures.
Absolutely. It was, a lot of photographers and the focus was on the image. But just like any other platform, it evolves and the uses for it change. And the use is actually determined by the users.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can say it's for this, but this is what we say it's for.
Right.
But the aesthetics are getting real interesting. There's a lot. I mean, like, there's just stuff to do. It's like, what does this button do? What does that?
Pushing buttons. How do I get back?
Exactly. So you have to use it a lot in order to really understand the navigation of the whole thing on a regular basis. But I guess that's with anything. It's like when I got in the keyless car at the.
We took a test drive at Tesla. Was it last year? It was fun. Terry
Oh
was
my
like,
Okay.
no. Terry,
I cannot drive with my hands in the air. I just couldn't do anyway.
and the car, it did drive for you.
It did self-correct, but
Yeah, and you have to trust,
yeah,
you
you gotta build
have
up
to
some
trust the technology is going to do what it says. So
I
Divas.
I don't like the driverless car, which I guess this is not right now. Already, this exists in closed systems like airports, etc., where you don't have a driver for trams, etc. That's fine. I understand that's a closed system. On the open street, I think that can be an issue, and it just points to the fact that we're just damn lazy. We already don't have to walk everywhere anymore. Can't take the time to drive?
Well, the thing is too, it's also about the company saving costs. Now they don't have to pay a driver to drive you. You know what I'm saying?
well,
So
Yes.
it's a full circle issue.
uh,
Um,
it, it's the ones on the main road,
on the main drag.
Right.
because you have to deal with the other people in the first place. It's not so much the driverless car, it's everybody else.
So what inspired this? The ghost riding over there in Oakland, California? What inspired this
Well,
whole
no, the driverless car, I think, has always been evolving. That
Mhm.
this is not something new. They wanted this to happen, and Tesla's been, working on a driverless car so people can get in, because it does take away the fact of people who are drowsy behind the wheel.
Oh, okay.
The car is
Segue.
not to go to sleep.
So this segues into Uber. Uber lost their license in the UK.
Mhm.
Of course, they'll be appealing that, but around the whole subject of whether or not they have enough, what I call security. What did you call it? Doc, you called it something else.
They just said safety. They
Safety. Safety.
according to TechCrunch that
Let me just-
it's been after this 2-month reprieve, they still were denied a license because of safety concerns. And this is actually what they said.
Mhm.
That Uber systems that allowed unauthorized drivers to upload their photos to other Uber drivers'
Yeah.
accounts, and this allowed unauthorized drivers to pick up passengers as though they were the book driver, which occurred in at least 14,000 trips, and that put passenger safety and security at risk. So this is according to the Transport Authority in London.
Now, my thing is, I think this is all just well, anyway, I think it's interesting because even if you're driving a cab, anybody can change the photo. You know what I mean?
Right.
People can doctor stuff. So it just feels like the cab companies are a little disturbed by the competition and are bringing up all this stuff to try to, you know what I mean?
Because here in California, they want to make the drivers employees.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the drivers are like, what, and these are, they want them to be on the clock at a certain time. Well, if I'm Susie Homemaker, I need to pick up my kids from a certain time. I don't need to be on your clock.
And that is not what drew me to drive
No.
for these
Right.
companies. It was the fact that I could work it around my schedule. And if my husband does shift work and his shift changes, I can change my shift without tripping.
I think the thing is also, well, there are a lot of ends to this here, but I think
Mhm.
one thing is that when you are not an employee, there are certain protections that you don't get because you're not an employee. So, but on the other hand, as you said, you're able to create your schedule and do things basically at will when you are more of an independent contractor for Uber as opposed to being an employee. But there are things that Uber has taken advantage of, and a lot of these companies in this gig economy have taken advantage of because you're not an employee. So they can really do a lot of things. And we see things with, like, well, it wasn't Uber Eats. What's the other one? The delivery. one of the delivery.
There's Postmates. There's so
DoorDash,
DoorDash.
they've all had problems with the tipping thing and all these different things, and so then they have to go back and retract what stuff you can't do when these people are actual employees of your company. So
right. And as because I drove for Uber, I knew what I was getting into. I read the fine print on the document.
Well, it wasn't even fine print. They told you ain't unemployed. And in there to sign up.
You know, I was like, and Jay is correct. He said, I heard that if you ride with Uber, on your app, there's there
will be help.
On the app, your phone will help protect you. Well, yes. Like I can tell Terry where I'm going. I can tell my husband where I'm going. They put SOS and stuff inside the app, so you need help. So they're trying to accommodate that. But this is what I'm seeing. As you get larger, people want more of your money.
Yes.
Correct.
It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on. Somebody didn't get part of your pie. And so somebody is going to do something to either try and kill your pie or get a couple of pieces.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the big company, as it is, and I'm not trying to say, but a lot of these companies are making record profits.
Right.
You don't have to make as much profit. The thing is, you're just greedy. So the fact that now you dip into the pockets of whether it's sellers on a certain app, on reselling apps, whether it's these transportation apps, whether it's home thing, you're dipping into the people that are offering these services. Because by the way, you wouldn't have an app if you didn't have people that were offering such services like driving,
and they wouldn't have access to the audience if you didn't have the app, like TaskRabbit. You know what? They charge a little more, but the bottom line is they get the job done, and that box is not sitting in my garage.
Absolutely.
I'd rather pay. And the thing is that you have the options. I like the gig economy because while I'm looking for a job, it gives me stopgap pay. And so my bills don't go stupid. You know what I'm saying? I can still tread water till I get another job. Or if I don't get another job, I can piece together a bunch of these things and keep my family going.
Right. I think we have to start to think about things differently in a different way. I'm not just blaming these gig economy bosses for making record profits. That's every company, every big corporation that are making record profits. And even if they have losses, your losses are not going to cause you to close. Okay, that the way they make it, you were down 1%, but you're still floating. It's not a big deal.
And it's made so many people able to survive in this digital economy. So I'm all for it.
When I was driving for Uber, I did pretty good for half a day. I knew what I
wanted to drive.
I knew what I was getting into. Just wasn't taking nobody to Reno. That was I wasn't heading up the hills and all of that. I wasn't going to San Francisco. I wanted to stay local. And so there was couple of little things that I think that they could improve upon in that. But the overall,
I saw that touch.
Not here. I'm sorry. I could not get with the pink mustache. That was I was like.
Well, yesterday they had some kind of 25%, $25 worth of rides free or something on Lyft. Lyft is really chomping at the competition.
Yeah,
but
whatever floats your boat. I just did not get with the pink mustache, and I'm like, okay, I need something more corporate. I'm sorry, but whatever one works, it's better than a cab.
Yeah,
absolutely. And see now. We talked about this before, how now the cabs want to get fine and upright that the day of reckoning is coming. The reason that companies for some reason are adverse to thinking ahead in terms of what's going to be best for the company. If
Well,
it means that you offer a little bit something extra, that your cab drivers are part of the reason, like especially in New York, that people are don't like cabs is because they're so rude all the time. Not all of them, but a lot of them are really rude. They won't pick up in certain areas, and
they're
there are a whole bunch of
selective.
things. Yeah. There's so many problems. And so now that somebody comes along to disrupt the cab industry, to disrupt the taxi industry with a better alternative, or at least an alternative, now you either try to shut them down by going to the commission and going to the city saying, and doing your crying song and dance.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or then you try to get right and, well, maybe we should be a little nicer. Well, that's what you should have done in the first bloody place. So too bad. Lyft, come get me.
Yeah, because the guy told a story the other day. He said, you know what? I'm here. The cab is right here. Let me give this guy a try. And he said, how much will it be for me to go from here to here? Asking the cabbie, because he kind of wanted to know, because they are notorious for taking you on trips that you didn't request.
Around the globe.
Yes. And he said, well, see here, it says here on the Uber, it's going to cost this. Get out of my cab. The guy wasn't going to pay you and tip you. He just wanted to know how much the trip was going to cost. See, you're going to get mad.
They can't stand the competition. And so these are the kinds of things that happen in this gig economy. People want union benefits. Well, if you want union benefits, go drive for a union company. This is not that. That's all I'm saying. And I've worked for many union shops. I'm just saying this is not that. And
exactly.
It's okay, but they just keep putting more and more restrictions on them. Okay, so the cab company could have an app where you could, call people if you got
some do. Right. The cabs here have apps. I'm not going to use it because you haven't proven yourself to be a worthy but they have apps because they realized that they had to keep up with the Ubers and the Lyfts and, like in New York City, the Vias and things like that. So they realize there's competition. But the thing is, my beloved, you realize too late.
Well, my question is, does that app have all these safety features that they're asking the digital? Exactly. Do you see what I mean? So it's sort of like they're piling on them and they're letting the cab company slide because they've been, part of the quote unquote system or whatever. So I'm just saying, guys, it's not that. This is not that.
The people who started Uber and Lyft got tired of the crap that was coming down the pike from you gonna ride me anyway. Well, no, I'm not.
Jerry said yes, they do. So are you saying yes, they do in terms of having the protections in these apps? The app for this one here did not. And again, it's been a long time since I've looked at it and checked it. So maybe they've added some of these things. So I think maybe as a result of Uber and Lyft, now municipalities are looking at the cab industry as well, and then requiring that. Well, all transportation then has to have that.
Drunk people get in your vehicle because they drunk and they didn't check to see you were who you said you were. That could happen to anybody.
Right. Cab. And now you're just getting in somebody's car. And I have to look twice. I'm like, wait, I'm looking at the license. Nope. The car looks like it's supposed to be, but the license, this girl had temporary plates. And I was like, are you so-and-so, so-and-so? She said, yes, my plates have been changed, but yes. And I was like, okay, well, I know I can take you down if I have to. So I'm
exactly. And there were two of us. So
right. But she was in the process of fixing that. And I'm like, okay, sweetie, you need to take the temporary paper off and get your plates on. But anyway, we can
move on. Those are my rabbit trails today.
They just tell your friends and family where you're going, have them check. And on
Right.
the Uber app, you can do that, and I believe Lyft, you can probably do that as well.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh,
You can.
Jerry was saying they take you on the out of the way. They take you on this tour of the city, the taxi people.
Yes.
If they know that you don't know.
Exactly, because they go by meter, and the meters don't go up by reasonable amounts. You look and it's $5, you turn your head, and the next thing it's 10. So they go by meters, and they do those types of things to, amass
Make
more
up
money.
the difference.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. That's the type of stuff we hate. That's why we take Uber. When you take an Uber, you take a Lyft, there is a flat rate. There is, you know what it's going to be. You know how much it's going to be, as opposed to the reindeer games you're trying to play by taking me all around Central Park before getting me to my.
Games. I love it.
And because you know how much you have, and I like the fact that I didn't have to pay you directly. I don't have to carry any cash. I can tip you in the app. If you don't do right, I can give you 3 stars, 1 star. Because see, the Uber drivers and the Lyft drivers are trying to get 5 stars.
Correct.
They're not trying to. They're not trying to. They're trying to keep their ratings up.
Hey, Media Scape. What's up?
The whole ratings game is what's going on now.
Is that you, Curtis? Better be you, Curtis.
He says, "Hey, ladies." Hey, Curtis.
Hey, Curtis.
It must, because I'm on here, so that's the only other person it could be is Curtis. I hope that's you. So,
Yeah. So anyway, the whole disrupting thing. There's a reason why the taxi industry got disrupted, because they didn't want to change.
There's a reason why things work. People want change. It's like, this is not working for me. Okay. So that was my rabbit trail for this morning, guys. Sorry.
Facebook, and we hit the gig economy, and are we ready for media? Oh, go ahead.
there is one other thing that I think people already know by now, but Twitter. Now, remember, Twitter made an announcement about the fact that if you had not used your account in 6 months, that they were going to deactivate it so that they could use the handles. Okay. Uproar, because remember, the whole thing is that there are some people who have passed away who have those things. So Natalie actually made this thing. When I posted this, they better get to memorializing a bunch of accounts then, so that you can't use the handle. So what's happening now, that Twitter is not removing inactive accounts because of a backlash of profiles from not the dead people, but over the profiles of dead users. So they didn't think that through when they made that, if you haven't used it in 6 months. Well, there are people who have passed away. So Twitter said in a statement Wednesday, "We've heard you on the impact this would have on the accounts of the deceased. This was a miss on our part." So they are not going to do that. The cleanup was supposed to start happening December 11th. So I think they're actually going to go back and rethink how they're going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that. So, okay.
Well, because we
thought that they changed their mind.
Well, we have been trying to get the Biz Chicks handle on Twitter for a very long time. The person who had it, they had it way back when, and it's been way longer than 6 months. But it was locked up. You know what I mean? When you go there, there's no account for it. And I think it does need to have a longer time than 6 months ago. Maybe you haven't used it in 20 years or however long Twitter has been out. And maybe investigate before you switch it off.
Right. I think I do understand wanting to free up some handles, sort of similar to when you have a website and it expires and it goes up for grabs or whatever. But then again, there are people that are sick or that are deceased or something to that effect, and they're not going to be able to do anything about it. So they need to think that thing through instead of 6 months. Can we start to use a little bit more common sense? I mean, you just stop jumping at the first thing. This is an issue and it's a real concern. But what you didn't think about is those accounts that cannot be accessed because the person is no longer living or whatever. How did you not think about that? That just doesn't make any sense.
No.
I think it has to do with wisdom because, hey, we're just going to shut this down while we're, getting it back together. How about we just keep the show going while you are fixing back here and then we switch it over? Different, I'm not going to say generations, but different people think differently. And so that's why you need a mix on your team.
You do.
Apparently there was a group of people who got together and thought this was a good idea, but nobody thought about the fact that what are the caveats in this idea?
This is fair game.
That's the problem, though. That's the problem when you don't have people who are in all fields working on something. So when you have all tech people working on something who are in by themselves all day or maybe reporting to a few people, they're not thinking humanistically. That's like a humanistic thing. So this is why when you have these apps, what happens is they have tech people and business people sometimes, and that's it. They don't have any social scientific people, psychology, sociology, or people that are adept in that. So that's why you don't think about the people. You think about the bottom line and you think about the technology part, but you forget that there are dead people. I mean, really, it's starting to be annoying where it's like, are you adept enough to deal with a business that deals with people if you can't think about these small things? Imagine seeing now a Twitter handle, a tweet from somebody that used to be alive and now all sorts of rubbish comes from that. You didn't think about that?
Right.
This blows my mind.
Apparently they did not.
Well, you see, that's why people need to get off campus sometimes. You know how these tech companies have these campuses so that nobody steals their talent. You can bring your dog, you can camp out here. We're going to bring you food. There's a cafeteria here. What else do you need? We got spas. We'll bring in anything you want. Just don't leave the campus. So when you're clustered like that, you get that kind of cluster activity.
The groupthink. Absolutely. Everybody does the same thing and thinks the same way. And there are no voices of dissent because there's no critical thinking.
Then you get incest. And when you get incest, you get mental illness.
Right. So exactly. It's an incestuous. Absolutely. I say that all the time. Terrible as it sounds, you are right. Ugh. Sorry, that's my rant for today because that just bothered me.
Well, are we going to get some media?
Yeah. Let me give you some media news. So one thing that let's talk about the Disney Plus thing. So remember when we were talking about Disney or Disney Plus, the issue was the way they started, right? The fact that you couldn't get on to Save Your Life for some people because they didn't anticipate the demand on the first day. Again, stupidity, but I digress.
57 Polaroids.
Exactly. You built 57 Polaroids because you thought 57 people only were going to be interested. When you're too concerned about the bottom line, you make stupid decisions like that. Okay. Right. And this is what they did. However, Disney has hit a record high on Tuesday in terms of their of the market. And they have on Tuesday, they had 15.5 million downloads. It probably is higher now. So people are downloading it. People are interested in it despite the snafu they had at the beginning. Again, to me, it's still too early to tell. We're still in the game where people are doing that free year of Disney. The Verizon people are doing the free year of Disney. Plus they have the 1 week. I did the 1 week. Of course, it is off now because I am not paying them, though I do heavily enjoy The Mandalorian. Love The Mandalorian. But, there are other people like me that are like, yeah, okay, I'll wait. And they've cut it off. So it's still too early to tell what effect it's going to have, whether or not this is going to stick. This is the honeymoon stage, to be honest. So for this marriage to last, you're going to have to wow me with some fantastical content for me to stay around. So we'll see that. But and then here's what they were selling at on Tuesday. 151.57 per share.
What?
Ah,
How much?
that's what 151 57. $151.57 per share at the close of the market on Tuesday. I don't know what it is today or what it was yesterday, but that's what it was closing at on Tuesday.
Wow. Well, I can understand it because I signed up. My grandkids are here for the week for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And I have a 5-year-old. I'm like, okay, let me just do this 7-day trial. And it'll probably stay on there, but something else is coming off.
Well, and yeah, now, that's smart. Now I went in there. Jay says, I can't believe they're only doing 1 week free. You should do 1 month. Look, Jay, you can't even get through all the material in 1 week.
Exactly.
So, I got the Disney Plus on the free trial. I'm in it. I started it, I think, day before yesterday. And there are some programs that I'll watch. I'm waiting on some movies that I want to see. I need them to be a part of the whole package. Like you can get some of the Marvel movies, not all.
Until they come off of Netflix, and like with the Spider-Man Marvel movies, that's a whole thing with Sony. So they don't have the distribution for everything that is a Disney thing. So that's part of the problem. So you may see it later, you may never see it. It depends.
Exactly. And so I like I like Casey Undercover. I liked some, but you couldn't get it on the Disney Now app that they had. They had Disney Now, but that's very, very limited. And you couldn't see certain things. They only give you 4 episodes of season 2 or something. And you're like, what the heck is this? So
enough to get you hooked to buy some more.
Right. And so, and then I had this thing. Okay, so what is the deal with the $6.99 versus the $12.99? The $12.99, you now get Hulu and ESPN added.
This is starting to sound like cable. Really?
It really is.
Bundling stuff. Bundling.
It is.
So the Disney Plus with the Hulu and ESPN, now you can watch whatever ESPN Sports has on. Because ESPN, as you know, they came off of mainstream. They just went strictly streaming, and ESPN is not like, you have to subscribe to that individually or with the package with Disney Plus.
So they got a release from cable and decided to just be a streaming app. Okay.
And Jay says it's hard to find the Disney Plus app. I find it in my iPhone, and that's it. Jay, if it's on your iPhone, then you can get it on your iPad or whatever. And I have Apple TV. I was able to get it through the subscription through my Apple TV.
All those
on my Roku, it's working.
It's on Roku, Chromecast, Fire Stick. It's on all of those over-the-top streaming. So you should be able to find it. You just may have to search for it. It's not going to be there. And then, here's the thing. When it first debuted, you didn't even have to search for it. Like, for example, on Roku, it was right there at the side of Disney TV. So you're doing also that type of advertising to expose the app to other people as well. So they're spending some major money on this, but they're also making major money. Just to say that.
Yeah, and they brought in all of their stuff under one roof. I didn't want to go back and see all of the classics. They have it where you can go back and to get the classics, and you can do this. I'm gonna go check out Mandalorian.
Please.
They do a 7-day binge on that.
It's really good, but they see you get to. They're very smart. They're not doing Netflix style stuff. Even Netflix is coming away from this model a little bit. They dole it out 1 per week, like it's on regular network television.
Oh, wow.
So you're only on today, episode 4 comes out for The Mandalorian. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch it because I've cut it off. However, what you do is you wait until everything is out, and then you go back and binge watch it. You can do your free trial then or whatever, but watch it. You'll be able to watch 4 episodes.
Okay, here's what my kids told me. This is what they do. Hey, man, I'll let you in on my Netflix pass if you let me in on your Disney Plus pass.
Absolutely. And you know what? That is okay. With Disney gives you up to, I think, 7, is it 7 accounts
Account?
or something that you can do with Disney, because they realize people are going to share accounts. So they basically are like, okay, we're not going to be able to stop this. So we're going to give you 7. So
And Netflix gives you what, 5 or 6 or something.
something to that effect. Yeah.
And you and they were like sharing their, okay, here's my login, and here's and they're letting the kids have figured it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, they're
Well,
going to have to know that that's a part of what this is, password sharing.
well,
Yeah,
they learned it from their parents from changing their identities over here on their Uber stuff. Uber stuff.
Right? Wow.
so I'm gonna go play
I'm
around
just
with this
so now we
weekend.
know this weekend you're going to do what?
I'm gonna play around with Disney Plus to see if there's anything in there worth keeping. Do you
Uh-huh.
understand what I mean? And it also has the ABC programming, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Okay,
ABC,
yeah,
Disney owns ABC. So yes.
but you don't get it without commercials.
No.
Mm.
Netflix gives it to you without commercials.
Right.
Mm.
They have a different monetization model. I don't know how much, how they're going to be able to continue to do that without some sort of advertising, but
Yeah,
for right now it's working.
right. And then, okay, so CBS All Access, I'm like, y'all gonna need to step up the game.
See, that's all access. Let me tell you, that is my nemesis. My arch nemesis in life is CBS All Access, because they were the ones who really started this one per week. We'll give you these new shows. There were only 3 things I wanted to see on CBS All Access: The Good Fight, The Twilight Zone, and there's one other. Discovery, Trek Discovery. But they do it so that you're only getting one a week. They take this break, they do a season A and a season B, and that's how they keep you hooked in, because they know nobody else wants to watch reruns of The Price is Right. Nobody else cares. So those are the things, the new original programming are the things that really would hold, a younger audience, because CBS's audience skews older. So to keep these new people with these programmings, we have to give it to you one at a time, and then we have to split up the seasons so that there's something to hold you all year round and you won't drop the app. Well, I dropped it because I'm like, there's nothing else I want to see. And
Exactly.
if I really want to do it, I will pay for it at a time when there's a whole bunch of content, and just binge for the month and cut you off again.
Right. It's like the carrot and the stick. Hey,
Mhm.
come on, watch us over here. And I'm like,
Because they know that most people, once they subscribe, they just let it roll. You know what I mean? You forget about it. It's $6, $10.
well, and we can't do that, because I'm like, yeah, I'm going back and we're going to do an assessment.
And audit.
Let's cut that. Are we watching this? Because now with all of these subscriptions, and YouTube TV is not cheap. YouTube TV is $49, and it's $54 if you use it through your Apple, using your Apple.
Is that a year?
A month.
Monthly.
But they're giving you a bunch of stuff. They're giving you your local TV, which you technically can get for free if you have rabbit ears.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's not every local channel. Remember, local channels, local affiliates make deals with these things separately. So it's not just like, all the local affiliates have the power to make these things separately, and they make decisions separately. And they could say, we don't want to be on Sling, and they won't be on Sling or won't be wherever. So it's all in whether or not your market, the local channels, have said yes to being included.
Right, because our local channels are not on Sling. They are on YouTube TV, at least here.
And Jay's speaking the truth here.
The cable company is going out of business, or they need to change. And one cable company did that. Dish Network.
Yes.
They morphed into Sling. Because they were like third on the totem pole after DirecTV and Comcast. And they said, okay, well, we can't just keep hanging with these guys. So they morphed into Sling, and Sling happened to turn into where you can, a la carte TV.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first a la carte TV where you can go and pick your channels and put together the package the way you wanted to. And it was
okay.
$40 maybe.
Mm.
And they're still like that. They got some cable programs on there and you can add pieces. Hey, Mark. So you can add pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And
I'm tired of playing Legos with these people. I need to know what I'm going to get, and I need one price. I'm not trying to build something with a bunch of Legos.
And most people aren't. You are right there with them. There's too much choice. People are tired of doing Jenga with all these things, and they just want one price. And so
and
you're
when
very
that
right.
company comes together, they will have solved my problem.
Yeah, it's called cable. That's why I'm telling you, they're reorganizing to try and hit the market again.
Right. And hopefully they've learned from their taxi ways.
They haven't.
and just don't gouge people. Mark said his my PlayStation View is going bye-bye, so I want YouTube TV.
Yeah, PlayStation View is out of business. They're the first casualty in the streaming wars. I guess they just did not get the amount of subscriptions and interest they thought they would, so they shut it down.
Yeah, well, that was smart. And then Donald says Netflix rules.
For now. There's no such thing as certain or certainty in this game at all. Everybody needs to be on high alert when it comes to. So Netflix is the game in town right now. Forget about the fact that Disney or whatever. Okay, fine. They still don't have what Netflix has, but the tide could easily turn. So Netflix has to be vigilant.
And they need to be vigilant because some of the stuff on there is not worth watching. I was going through, I'm serious, I'm scrolling through Netflix and I'm like, where is...
I am so over them.
And Black Mirror, what else? There are certain things, because I haven't seen all of the episodes of Black Mirror, so I got a little bit of something to watch over there. But the movies and things, I was like...
After you watch your genre, it's sort of like, okay, I'm over this streaming service. And I respect that. Like you said, I'll be back when you get some new content. But I like that idea, Dr. Tachi, what you said about, hey, the date is over. Call me when you got somewhere else to go.
And Mark said, and by the way, it's shutting down in January. They never even told us, the subscribers, they had to read about it.
Oh, no, there's nothing worse than reading about your breakup in the news, is it?
Terrible customer service. That is deplorable. And here's the thing, they should have just come out with a letter, or, a lot of times that people will do these blog posts on Medium now. And that's how they make these different announcements. There should have at the very least been a letter letting them, hey, we tried. Thank you for supporting us.
When the bill comes out, maybe put a note in the bill.
Exactly.
How about, can you put a name up on the screen? We're going to be closing on the 30th. Please make sure that all your accounts are secure.
There's a pop-up for everything else. Pop that up. We will be disengaging, effective, blah, 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 blah.
What did you just say, Teralina? Wisdom in terms of these things? When you have... And we know who is at the helm of PlayStation and PlayStation View. It's younger people, and that doesn't mean that they can't do things right, but sometimes they don't do things right because they think about the tech end and the business end, and damn the humanistic end.
These are the people who never had to write the thank you note to Auntie D.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't even know how to formulate it properly. So. Oh, okay. What could I do one more thing before we go?
Please.
Yeah. Okay. So there is another story that I have to talk about that I talked about on Wednesday. So we're talking about streaming, we're talking about Disney, and then of course over to Netflix. Now, the big issue with Netflix and the Academy, especially Steven Get Off My Lawn Spielberg, has been that Netflix's movies are not in theatrical release long enough to make it count for his liking, because one of the things that is a requirement to be eligible for Oscar nomination and Oscar, consideration is that you have to be exhibiting in theaters, and it's for a certain amount of time. So Netflix in the past had done it just long enough to be considered for Oscar nomination, then they go, but it still wasn't long enough for Steven, get off my lawn, Spielberg. So now what Netflix has done is they have reopened the Paris Theater in New York, which is New York's only single screen theater left. Everything else is like a big AMC or IMAX or something like this. Multi-screen theater, correct. So this is the only single screen theater left in New York. And so they have leased it, right? So what they're going to do is they're using it as, it's an art house originally, but they're going to do special event screenings and theatrical releases for their original films. So now no longer can anybody complain about Netflix's titles not being in theaters and then not being there long enough. So this is so brilliant. They are controlling the creation. Vertical integration it's called, when you control from all the way from the creation to exhibition. So this is what they're doing.
I love it.
See, and that they are disrupting the Oscar process now. See,
exactly.
I think the Oscar process was disrupted. Did anybody? Let me ask you this. Here's my point. Did anybody see the Macy's parade yesterday?
I did. How can I not?
Where did you see it?
On TV.
See, I don't have antenna.
Where on TV?
On NBC. But I have rabbit ears in addition to all the streaming stuff I have.
But how did we hear? Because here's my thing. Because I got asked that too. How would we know that was on if they don't do something to put it on all these other, some kind of way? They got to tell us about it. Because I was like, I had no clue.
And it was so non-traditional for me to wake up on Thanksgiving morning and not watch the parade, but it was just like, so, and I feel the same way about the Oscars. So,
okay, so here's the thing: traditional linear networks have not done a good job of advertising beyond the traditional. They stick to such traditional methods that's why you didn't know about it. Now, again, I'm a New Yorker, so I'm like, okay, well, the parade, it must be on. And I know that it's always affiliated on NBC, so I knew to turn there immediately. I also know that the dog show is right after that, so I knew to be there immediately. But you are 100% correct in that they did not do a good job of advertising, but they did do something interesting this year. They were also doing the parade live on YouTube on the whose YouTube channel was it?
Now, see,
it wasn't Verizon. It was
would be streaming it.
Right. They were streaming it on YouTube, and Lily Singh, Lily Singh, the big YouTuber who now also has her late night talk show. She's like crossed over. She was the host along with somebody else. So they were live on YouTube, and I can't remember whose YouTube page it was. Okay. Not NBC's. It was like Verizon or some sponsor. So they did that as well. So they have done a little bit in terms of crossing over to the digital space, but not enough. Hence why you two, who are lifelong parade watchers, didn't see it or didn't know where it was going to be.
Yeah, because YouTube has YouTube TV. They could have said, "Hey, watch the parade over here on we're streaming it live," but they didn't tell anybody. And we have some comments down the side here. Let's see. Jay said people need to know how to write Google how to write a letter.
There you go.
And then he said that Spielberg will be hating on Irishmen.
Spielberg. Spielberg, let's concentrate on making a movie better than Ready Player One. I mean, I respect you, but come on. And really all to speak to this for a minute, all of that kind of nonsense malarkey is because really it's like you're getting older in the game. You're fighting to stay relevant. So rather than making your ish better, what you do is you go after other people to tear them down. No, be better.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry. That hurts me too. I'm getting off my soapbox for real this time.
Oh my God.
And then Nora said, note in the bill you don't read, removing programming small print spectrum. Yeah.
Well, you might not want to put that in small print that you're not going to be here in 30 days.
Well, no, they're not. Well, they put it in small print, so technically they told you.
Oh my gosh.
And Donald says the Irishman was pretty good and informative.
Is this a movie?
It was too darn long for no reason.
Is this a movie, The Irishman?
Yeah, it's a Scorsese movie.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
And then she watched the parade on Periscope.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because we forget that Periscope is still a thing. Really.
Yeah, and there were USA Today, I think, was doing it live on Periscope, and there were other media outlets in addition to regular on the street people that were doing
cool.
it. So.
See, that would have worked for me.
Yeah, and Mark said last year Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon did it on Netflix. The year before that, Amazon Prime.
What did they do?
The parade.
Okay, the parade. Okay.
Right. And then Natalie says The Godfather of Harlem is a show that she's currently glued to.
I don't have Epix, so I can't watch that.
And okay, Epix came out. Epix was included with Sling as we're just gonna put it in here type channel. And now they're all high and mighty where if you want Epix, you now have to pay extra.
Exactly. So I could be high and mighty too and not get it.
Right. And they were and the movies that were on Epix were all the reruns of something. And I was, hold on a minute. This
can get the
same thing as what's that other channel? Cinemax, Stars, and something else. They're all old movies, and you're trying to get me to pay for old movies.
Exactly. Where, for example, if you already I already have Amazon Prime, so there are some things that are already included that are on there, and even Netflix, where I don't have to pay to watch it. So I'm not going to pay for old movies when I already have access. You have to offer me, just speaking about me, something new and something fresh in order for me to justify saying, here is my $7.
Yeah, I want to watch the content I want to watch. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about zombies. I'm not about different venues. I like mysteries, some drama.
Okay, so the BBC need to do something with Death in Paradise. I'm just putting it out there.
I love Death in Paradise.
That was rude. Huh?
Did they just cut it off?
No, Death in Paradise, you can get it, but you got to buy it.
You got to buy season 2, season 3 or something.
No,
not doing it. I like it, but not that much.
It's season 8, and then they only give you like 9 of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And then it was rolling on Netflix, and they haven't put season 8 over there because it's still running in England or something. So it's not
available.
It's not available yet. And I'm like, what?
But it was available on cable because I watched it on cable at my sister-in-law's.
But that's with Xfinity cable or whatever. So they have something with the BBC.
I don't know what that was about. And I got to see it and I binge watched season 8. I was like, okay, because I knew I wasn't going to get it at all.
Natalie said VPN. Okay. So anyway, it's just kind of weird. You want to watch some stuff, and then the stuff you want to watch is not there yet, and so you got to go figure out some other stuff.
Yeah. You know what? At the end of the day, we'll be okay.
Right.
I think so. All is well. All is well. So I guess I won't be getting the ABC Eastern TV passport, whatever that's.
What is that?
I don't know. There's something over here. I was Googling when you were talking about ABC All Access, and then it says update reviews, recaps of the current day matchups like I care at 7 p.m. And this is a TV schedule for ABC Eastern called TV Passport. So now they're trying to sell me a TV guide for some crap I don't even want to see. Are you for real?
Yeah. And so, you know, the big three are going to have to figure out some stuff.
if they plan to survive. If they plan to
Because
survive,
they're not even
competition is hot on their trail. I'm thinking that Tyler Perry and some other studios are going to be able to, you know, knock some new content out, hopefully. And
Well, so speaking of Tyler Perry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
that's
speaking of
pretty
Tyler
cool.
Perry, we already know he has this whole thing. I think he's actually part and parcel of BET Plus in terms of helping to build that out with his programming. And I don't know what stake he has in it, but I think he's involved in that sense. And he does currently on BET have two things running, Sisters, and then The Oval, which is actually the #1 scripted show on TV on cable right now. Well, on cable channel, cable network right now. So he is a hot commodity. He's certainly got the space to produce the thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more. But I think he's already involved in the over the top with BET Plus as a. I don't know what stake, but.
Well, I was impressed when they broadcast the debate from his studio. I was like, this looks so professional and it was well organized. There were no glitches. I was like, this is amazing. So yeah, he has that capacity, and I'm glad
He knows his stuff.
That he's getting the business. You know, a lot of times we know our stuff, but we don't get the business. So I'm glad to see that.
Absolutely. But I mean, he's the biggest game in town. He's bigger than even the Hollywood studios. So that would just be a clear snub. I mean, okay, and in Atlanta, you've also got Pinewood Studios. But and Pinewood is where a lot of stuff was, a lot of Marvel movies, etc. are shot.
Wow.
But they don't even touch the acreage that Tyler Perry has. So it is what it is.
Bravo. And I was concerned. Well, I wasn't concerned. I was informed when those spires got a little close to the Hollywood sign out there. I'm like, may I just figure out how to invest in Tyler's studios?
That it's absolutely.
Oh, guys. Well, you know, it's getting close to time to sign off. Fran, was there something you wanted to share? Did I?
No, this is good. You know, we get to play with all these little the 7-day free trial.
Yes.
You get to play with some stuff. Then you all play with it and come back and tell us which one worked for you, because we're all still trying to put together something. You got to know what you want first. And then come back and just figure out how you want to get it together, because TV is not what it used to be. We can't plop down and just pick 3 channels anymore.
I like that. I'm putting that in the chat.
It's over. That 3-card Monty. Ooh, it is over. There's so many choices. And then as Terry and I and every we talk about it. When you got too many choices, you're not going to make a decision, and you
mind. A confused mind will not make a decision.
Right. So we want to say thank you to everybody who joined us here today after the Thanksgiving Day holiday. I take it you all are not out shopping on Black Friday.
Well, they're shopping on their other device. They're over here.
Oh, that's right, because you can shop from your house.
You don't have to go out at all and contend with traffic.
Look, I went, I was out yesterday and I needed to charge the car a little bit. So I went to the Roseville Galleria Mall.
Yes.
I plugged in. I kid you not, that mall was packed, and it was only 7:30, 8 o'clock maybe. And there were people, I was like, who are all these people? Shouldn't you people be at home?
I bet they're saying the same thing about you, though. You know, it's like,
well, if you have brick and mortar, you want that parking lot full.
You want it full. So, and all of that moves the economy along. So good.
Yes, and remember, most of them have in-store pickup, so it's not like they're going to be in line long.
Exactly. Just go to the window and get your stuff.
Yeah, Natalie says slickdeals.net has compiled all of the online and brick and mortar deals.
Ooh,
Thank you, Natalie.
that's good. Thanks, Natalie.
Let me write that down, Natalie. Slickdeals.net.
Screenshot. And
Natalie is just a repository of information.
Food hydrated or I don't blame you. I'm serious. They were like, what's this? It's like the apocalypse at the mall. I was like, come on.
And invariably, it seems like all you're really saving is about $50. I think my peace of mind is worth more, and not fighting with people over parking spaces. But hey, to each his own.
Right. Hey,
exactly.
Hey, Donald, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. Please come back and see us again. We'll be here every Friday talking tech.
Okay, Natalie, thank you so much for your input. And Nora.
And who else we got in here? Mark and Jay.
Jay today.
And who was our special guest today? Where is his name?
Let's see. Jerry was here.
Keith.
Keith. That's
Keith.
it.
Yeah.
We had DJ, somebody from Periscope, and we had somebody from YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah. We got people chiming in from all over the place today. Thank you so much. We had fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a pleasure talking to you this morning. Guys, I just want to thank you so much. You're always full of information on Fridays.
We'll always be here with some stuff to help you make better decisions about your tech and social media and your media in general.
So what's happening Monday?
We will be talking about something on Monday. I'm not quite sure yet, but coffee, tea, and conversations. And then we will be hitting the ground running, getting you ready for 2020. That's what we shall be doing.
All right.
Yeah, first Monday is coming up. If you're in the Sacramento area, join us first Monday, December 2nd at Seasons 52.
We want to give a shout out to TJ over there in New York City, enjoying some time with her family.
Yes.
We love you, girl. Why didn't
Enjoy.
You have yesterday? But okay. All right. We love you guys, and we just want to remind you, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day, and we'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.